Have you ever heard of a country officially declaring war on birds and losing? Buckle up, because this is and a cartoon plot. This is the completely true story of Australia's Great Emu War. The year is 1932. The world is in the grips of the Great Depression, and in Western Australia, thousands of World War I veterans have become farmers. They were promised a new life, a piece of land to call their own. But they weren't the only ones looking for a fresh start. About 20,000 emus, after their breeding season, decided the farmlands of Campion District looked like a five-star, all-you-can-eat buffet. These giant, flightless birds, standing almost 6 feet tall and running faster than a horse, were devouring and trampling wheat crops on an industrial scale. The farmers were desperate. They had fought for their country, and now they were losing a battle on their own turf to a feathered army. So, what do you do when you have a massive pest problem and a population of trained soldiers? Well, if you're the Australian government in 1932, you make a decision that will go down in history. The farmers, many of them ex-soldiers themselves, petitioned the Minister of Defense, Sir George Pearce. Their request? Deploy the military. With machine guns. Yes, you heard that right. The Royal Australian Artillery was about to be deployed against emus. Major G.P.W. Meredith of the 7th Heavy Battery was put in charge of the operation. He was given to soldiers Sergeant S. McMurray and Gunner J. O'Halloran, and 2 Lewis automatic machine guns, along with 10,000 rounds of ammunition. The media caught wind of this and got excited. A cinematographer was even sent along to capture the glorious victory. On paper, it was a slam dunk. What chance did a bunch of birds have against modern military hardware? It was man versus beast. Technology versus nature. And everyone assumed technology would win. Spoiler alert, they were wrong. The first attempt was on November 2nd. The military found a flock of about 50 emus. The locals tried to herd the birds into an ambush, but the emus were clever. They split into small groups and ran, making them incredibly difficult targets. The machine guns rattled, but the birds were just too fast and erratic. After a full day's effort, the official count was maybe a dozen birds down. Not exactly a stunning victory. A few days later, they tried again. This time, they spotted a flock of over 1,000 emus. This was it, the perfect opportunity. They set up the gun, took aim, and the gun jammed after just a few shots. Before they could fix it, the birds had vanished over the horizon, leaving the soldiers in a cloud of dust and embarrassment. Major Meredith was shocked. He noted in his report the emu's uncanny ability to organize. He said, "If we had a military division with the bullet-carrying capacity of these birds, it would face any army in the world. They can face machine guns with the invulnerability of tanks. The emus were like feathered guerrilla soldiers. They never clustered together, they had uncanny senses, and they could absorb multiple bullets and keep running." The soldiers wasted thousands of rounds of ammunition for a laughably small number of kills. The whole operation was becoming a farce. After about a week of this humbling failure, the media started having a field day. The story went from a curious local event to an international joke. One politician in the Australian Parliament dryly asked if a medal would be awarded for the war. Facing mounting pressure and public ridicule, the Minister of Defense ordered a withdrawal. The military, with its machine guns and its pride in tatters, packed up and went home. The Great Emu War, Round 1, was over. The emus had won, but the story doesn't quite end there. The emus, celebrating their victory, continued to feast on the crops. The farmers, even more desperate, pleaded for the army to return. So, a few weeks later, Major Meredith was sent back out for round 2. This time, they had a bit more success, but it was still incredibly inefficient. By the time the operation officially ended in December, they had used almost all 10,000 rounds of ammunition to take down just under 1,000 emus. With 20,000 emus still running around, it was a drop in the ocean. The operation was deemed a complete failure, a massive waste of resources, and a source of national embarrassment. In the end, the government realized that machine guns weren't the answer. They implemented a bounty system instead, which proved to be far more effective over the following years. But the legend of the Great Emu War lives on as a hilarious and humbling reminder that sometimes, even with all our technology and power, nature has a way of fighting back and winning in the most unexpected ways. So there you have it, the time Australia lost a war to a flock of giant birds. What do you think is the weirdest event in history? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this slice of bizarre history, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible true stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.